like to keep that live feed on during today's broadcast in case the cull happens during the hour we're on air. Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I believe the police are being very cautious and taking careful steps because, first of all, this issue has been open for hundreds of days. For hundreds of days, this farm has defied the demands that these birds be culled. You know what? I have Sheila on the phone here. Let me see if there's something. Sheila, I'm live on the live stream. I'm putting you on speakerphone. Is this
Okay.
Go ahead. So you're on speakerphone.
Okay, well, I was just giving you an update as to what I was doing so that you know.
Okay.
I am on my way to Calgary right now. I'm about an hour and a half, 2 hours from Calgary.
Yeah.
I'm going to grab the company. I'm grabbing the company Starlink from there. I have my little Green Goblin home-built micro trailer so that Drea doesn't have to sleep on the ground when I get there. And I'm going to do my best to help her in any way that I can because I know she's been working around the clock. Even if I can offer some relief to her so that she can go steal a nap while one of us continues to document what's happening at the farm. That's my goal for right now.
Okay, well, that's great. Thank you for doing that. That is such a long drive, 11 hours. That's just crazy, and you're going to be tuckered yourself when you get there. But thanks for going to showing her support. I think keeping her going is obviously job one, and getting that Starlink up because it's so far out in the middle of the wilderness. Like this farm is in the middle of, I'm not going to say the middle of nowhere because everywhere is somewhere, but to get better internet feed is so critical. It's possible because we're looking at a live feed of the ostrich right now, the ostrich farm, because there's a chance there will be a police raid now. But I think I was just about to say before you called, I think the police are going to take their time because this matter's been going on for hundreds of days. It's not actually a regular police matter. It's a food police, Canadian Food Inspection Agency matter. So I'm not sure if the regular cops are thinking, oh, great, what are we doing with this BS? So they have no desire to bust heads or anything. And if there is going to be some political or passive resistance, I think the police wants to be very careful. I think that if it's the RCMP who are being dispatched, in a way, this isn't their rodeo. This is on the food inspection people. So I think if there's some resistance, and we're going to show some images shortly of logs being put across the road, I wouldn't be surprised if these police take days to make their move.
You know, I don't disagree with you. This is what we've seen with the churches and with Chris Scott and the whistle stop. It didn't surprise me to see that the police showed up in the wee hours of the morning.
You know, Sheila, I think we have a connection with Drea right now. Let me sign off, Sheila, and I think we've got Drea from her cell phone. So I'll talk to you later, Sheila. Okay, bye. Well, there you have it. Sheila Gunn-Reid called literally, but I see that Drea has some signal, and let's quickly connect with her while we do. Drea, how you doing?
Oh my goodness, boss. It has been quite a day. All of the supporters have been, no one slept a wink. For the viewers who don't know what's been happening since yesterday, actually, let me backpedal just a little, just to show how much Rebel News has been covering this issue. So on Thursday, we broke the name of the truck company that was being used to rent out some of the vehicles to bring some supplies. With the help of a brave whistleblower, we brought that attention to the public. And shortly after that, Clearway Car and Truck Rentals said, we don't want anything to do with this. We didn't know that that's where our vehicles were going. We don't want, we love animals, and this is not a hill for us to die on. So they started demanding back their vehicles, which caused somewhat of a delay. I don't know how long, but the CFIA did in fact have to find a replacement. Then yesterday, I broke the news of the likely company that's been contracted to go ahead and do the disposal, and that is Nucor Environmental Solutions. So just so you know, at SaveTheOstriches.com, you never know, we do have a respectful way for you to demand that they back out of this plan too, at SaveTheOstriches.com. So that was sort of what's happened. That's kind of part of why there's been the delay. And then we got word that last night there was about 15 to 20 RCMP making their way to Vernon. So everybody was on guard going into place of what they've had planned here, I guess, for the last, I mean, it's been 9 months. Some people have been here since January.
Wow.
And so they got into position, and then Intel said, nope, they're staying at a conference that's taking place at the Prestige Hotel. I mean, one was reporting what they could hear from the conference of the RCMP. And so from that, later on, they learned that they were going to get some shut-eye. There was a lot of men walking around in black with walkie-talkies. And then around 3:50 this morning, it was really weird because I just had fallen asleep around 2:30 a.m. And I woke up at 5 minutes before. I got a text saying they're getting out, they're getting to their cars. And so that intel was correct. And they got together, they had their coffee, and I would say there's about 3 police that were on the way. There's 2 sort of the station type of vehicles where they're going to be remotely, having their conversations. What's that called? Sorry, those big trucks where they're stationed inside. Anyways, where the RCMP are stationed in there. And the first thing that happened, if you look down here, is the RCMP came here. They said their liaison, I believe they're from E Division, according to my intel. And that means officers from all over British Columbia, not just. We're trying to negotiate because there's a bit of a blockade that's happening. The farm is saying they had nothing to do with it. They're going to work on trying to remove it. I do have, I have video of all of this. It's just hard to get it out fast, of course. So I'm doing my best with that. So the first blockade, which was trees and some metal things, and I don't even know what it all was, but I did record it, has been removed. Jeff, who is helping with the farm, said, I'm going to throw you guys an olive branch. But get this, as that's happening, we start to hear some screaming happening on the road behind us, this same road that we're on. And this is one of their neighbors' house right here on the corner. So the blockages is happening on a road that is shared by both the farm. Let me just break this down. There's actually 2 farm properties. It's co-owned. So over here is owned by ostrich farmer Dave Belinsky, and over here is owned by Karen Esperson. So they share this road with this neighbor over here, and screaming started happening. And a man who was dressed in all black with a black mask was going through the neighbor's property with a jerry can. So at first we're thinking, is someone trying to put the whole place up in flames? Then the RCMP get welcomed on because the farmers say we have had troubles with this neighbor. And if you recall, not one, but 2 ostriches mysteriously died. They believe they were shot while they've been taking on this battle. So the RCMP were welcomed onto the property at that point to go to the neighbor's house, investigate what happened. They've brought the dogs on. Now, of course, they got to see some of the other barriers in place that the protesters have put up while they did that. But then the plot thickens, and one of the supporters says it was me, and he claims it was him, and the RCMP arrested him. He was not wearing the same outfit. So I don't know if he got changed or what have you, and they arrested him. He's a man named Tim. I've met quite a few times coming out here. He's usually spotted in my videos driving in an ATV back and forth, doing the maintenance for the farm, helping out the farm, volunteering so they could, spend more time on their legal fight and all of this battle. He said it was him. The RCMP arrested him. I did some interviews with some of the people here on the farm, and they just don't believe it's him. Some of them think
so
perhaps.
Weird. You know what?
It's so weird.
It's so complicated, the different web of intrigue that's going on here. I mean, you've got the the birds and the bird supporters. You've got an angry neighbor who some people think has been taking anti-ostrich matters into his own hands. We played the clip of the shouting and the guy in the jerry can, and now to have a bird ally say it was him, it's a mystery. It's layers of mystery upon mystery.
By connecting businesses with qualified candidates, Workforce Alberta helps employers change their story.
I just want to say, just before I saw you were online, I got a call from Sheila Gunn-Reid, our chief reporter. She is en route to you. It is not a quick journey. It is an 11-hour journey. And it sounds to me she's about an hour into it. She's got to go down to Calgary, get the Starlink. She's got a camper van, because I understand you're staying in a tent on the ground. Is that right?
Well, I must admit there is a lovely supporter who has put me in quite the glamping tent. It's a teepee tent. So it's not as bad as it sounds. And she's got an air mattress for me. So I can show you. It's one of those teepee tents down there.
Okay, well, that's super nice of them. I know you had that RV that we crowdfunded for you, but I saw you in Calgary on Friday, and I know you had to race back to BC. You were giving a speech at a conference in Friday, but then when you heard about the ostrich news, you flew down there faster than an ostrich can run, and so you didn't have time to get the RV again, and the internet is the main thing, I think. Although we're able to connect with you a little bit this way. So you think the police came on to sort of scout it out? Let me ask you: have you seen any police drones or helicopters in the sky? Well, looks like maybe we have.
So we're getting reports that there are helicopters.
This is why we want the Starlink, because the connection is pretty iffy. Sorry, keep going. I think we have you back now. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yeah.
That there are helicopters at St. George. People are claiming they are military helicopters nearby.
Wow.
So I think I'm very delayed, because I think you're responding to something I said quite some time ago.
Isn't that very interesting?
Can you hear me?
You're saying there are no police in the farm right now, but there are police at the gates of the farm. Is that correct?
No, the police have been walking at the neighbor's property with dogs and everything like that, and now they are back on the outside. There is some talk about a warrant coming, and so the farmers are on guard. The farmers are all inside of a pen, and I don't know if you got my answer about the helicopters, but there are helicopters parked nearby at St. Paul's. I just want to show you the table here. The table at the farm has sort of all of the news that has been shedding light on their important fight. And look how big Rebel News' name is there.
See.
Well, that's great. It's true. You have covered this very well, and you're on the scene. Are there other journalists there? Are there other citizen journalists there?
I do see one has come from Surrey, so he's running around here. Global News has been here the last couple of days as well, and that's all pretty much.
Well, I'm so glad you're there. And
I should say I did see Global News' piece, and it was quite fair. So
oh, good. Well, that's a pleasant surprise, because I mean, I don't know a lot about ostriches other than they're a large flightless bird, and I think they're related to dinosaurs.
Prehistoric.
I don't think I have a deep affection for the bird. I don't know if they're cuddly. They seem aggressive. But here's why I care about this story. And I think our viewers care about it for a variety of reasons. As Sheila said, there's a property rights issue here. The farm, and not just the farm, but the birds themselves. There's the stupid rules, stupid bureaucracy, stupid authority telling you to do something that makes no sense just because it's a rule. And the order to kill hundreds of birds because of some obscure unscientific hunch or it, I think offends people, and it reminds them of how COVID was. I think the fact that it just doesn't make any sense to kill all these large animals because hundreds of days ago, one of them might have tested sick. I think another reason is that they won't allow the farm to test them now to prove that they're healthy. I think there's so many layers to this. And as if this is a policing priority, like Canada's in the midst of a massive crime wave, but how many police are going to be part of this raid? Are those some of the reasons this story has resonated? Because I like animals. I love dogs. I haven't really thought about ostriches with some friendliness, but now I feel protective of the ostriches.
I think like you said, it's a nonpartisan issue. Everybody at its core understands that healthy animals should not be killed for no reason. And why? Why are you not retesting them? Why do the farmers go to jail if they spend their own money to test them? And I should point out that not a single ostrich behind me has ever been tested. These are all untested birds. It's just 2 of the very young deceased carcasses that were tested with an anal swab with the PCR test, to which a scientist I interviewed had already said was overcycled when he looked through the information. So they will not retest these animals to prove the farmers right. And this is also a matter of not having freedom of science, the freedom to explore the scientific avenues other people want to explore.
By connecting businesses with qualified candidates, Workforce Alberta helps employers change their story.